Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Know Your Power podcast. I am your host, Kendall Graboff.
Hold on, I'm de-leaking my eyes.
Julia's crying.
And I'm Juliarene. We came up with the term this morning of de-leaking because, like, you guys probably watch this on the YouTube channel if you guys don't already, but I'm, like, constantly always wiping my eyes.
Do you think it's allergies or your eyelashes? I need to show you.
It can't be my lashes.
I need to show you this video of this girl who got this, like, super mega ultra lashes in, like, Florida, of course.
Was it the one that people commented that she looked like a spider?
I don't think so. This one, everyone was like, if she blinks enough, like she's taking air. Like that girl is flying away.
The comments were like funnier than the video,
forehead.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Chloe
but her lashes were
me.
insane. Like I've never even seen, I don't know. I thought you had like as big as it gets. And this lady had like quadruple yours.
I actually got mine done yesterday and I walked in to my lady because I've been going to her since I think I was like a couple weeks out from my pro show and I found her on the whim. And I walked in yesterday and I was like, Ray. She's like, what? She's like so sassy and just very like to the point. I was like, I don't want mega volumes anymore. And she was like,
the gasp, that gusp.
And I was like, I know, right? And she goes, well, what are we going to do? And I was like, I want like something more natural. And like,
which they're still very long.
Wispy.
But
And she's like, all right. So,
I like them.
Yeah, we did less. Usually right now they're like a thick band of black, you know? And I was like, okay, well, that works for girls that wear no eyeliner or eyeshadow, you know, having the thick lashes. And I was like, but me, it looks like way too much. So I just now realized it. There's probably people listening and they're like, yeah, girl,
While we're on girl talk, right side of your hair, you might, just like flatten. It's better. I think one of these got like stuck in the headphone going
Is it
back.
a lumpy lump?
It looks better now. Here,
Okay.
look at me. Yeah. Oh, you might want to look at it.
Did I make it worse?
Maybe. Just pull out your phone. I can cut some of this if you'd like me to cut some of this.
I'm slicking.
Just rather help you now. Now it's on the right side more. Like even lower. I think it was just a piece that got like stuck back.
I'm like staring at her
From
and I'm
my
like
angle, it
slicking my
looks
hair
good now,
down.
but I don't want to be wrong. So if you want to look at it, you can.
Nah.
Anyway.
I'll just go with jank hair. It's okay.
No, you're good.
Jank
You're
hair.
always beautiful anyway.
Leakage.
Eye leakage.
Eye leakage.
Today's episode, we're basically just talking about like our current workout split and the workout split we kind of do for the wellness division.
Yeah, you guys liked that video so much. We were like, damn.
We literally were not planning that video at all that day.
No, we were like, well, we just forget. I feel like we just forget that we have a lot of bodybuilders that listen, and then there's a lot of niche things that we know because we're in the industry that you might know you might not know as a beginner. So yeah, we're going to talk about our wellness specific training program and how we go about it. So,
and this is coming from a place of, because I know sometimes we have new listeners.
Yeah.
Julia is an IFBB Wellness Pro, and then I haven't competed in like almost 2 years now. I don't know if I'll compete again, but I still train like I trained for wellness because that's the physique I still like look up to and want to have. So yeah, it's still very much so like a wellness focus split. But Julia's like in prep for a show and I'm just kind of like doing it lifestyle wise, I guess.
And when we're talking like a wellness split too and bodybuilding, the thing about bodybuilding, it's literally bodybuilding. So you can customize your training program based off of areas that you need and maybe pull back on areas that you don't need. So if you're a beginner, I actually wouldn't recommend doing this at all because you're basically a fresh little canvas, you know, like your body's just a little canvas. You don't have too much muscle in a specific area. So building up these areas that we're going to talk about now at the beginning of your start, or I guess the start of your journey, is going to be really good for you because my training split when I started is so different than now. So
I've gone through many phases.
Yeah, maybe
also.
we should talk about how our training split started so that we can build the physique to change it into a more wellness specific physique.
Yeah.
You know, because
I think a good comparison, it's like almost like building a car where like you need those big parts first and then you can do like the cool little antenna. And like,
you're right. For me, it's just like, yeah, you need the car. Yeah. And then like when you want to add like the accessories, like the colors and the stitching and
that's when you can like fine tune once you already have the car made. So you need to definitely like start with basics.
Is it obvious we have no idea what we're talking about with cars?
No. My mom's like in the car industry and I'm like, well, I don't know is the thing. And she'll say stuff to me and I'm like, okay, the fender is off. I don't know.
Your mom's a vibe and a half. Yeah. Guys, also side note, we're thinking about having our moms on. So
I really want to do that.
My mom's going to listen to this and be like, no! And I'm like,
have you not brought it up with her?
No.
Okay. My mom's on board, but only if your mom's on board. She's like, she needs your mom there.
She will.
Okay.
If I make her.
So how was your training split when you started?
Okay. So when I started, I needed to build everything. I had a little fresh canvas. I didn't have cap shoulders. I didn't have much of quads. I didn't really have much of anything. I was just pretty skinny and a little lanky because I went through a phase of cutting. That's what I first started doing, was just cutting down to the fat. And then I was at a good body fat at that point, but I was like, okay, I want more, which I feel like people listening have all been through a similar journey to where they go through like the cardio bunny phase. And then they're like, wait, I don't want to look like a walking stick. I want to have some more curves. So that's what I did. And I started lifting, and mine was a very traditional lifting. It was probably like legs. It was like legs, back, chest, upper body. It was very like one thing is on one day. And I only trained legs like once a week. And I hated it at that point.
Oh, same.
I really hated it. I loved my upper body days. They were my favorite. Doing like shoulders, back, chest was all my favorite. Once I got my boobs done, December 2020?
I think so.
2021. Some number of years ago.
I was like, when did I know you?
And
I think I met you before you had them done.
Oh, yeah.
So I think 2020.
Yeah, before I got my chesticles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I don't train chest anymore, but I loved training chest. So it was like a split of where I was Monday, it was like legs. So I had quads, glutes, and hamstrings on those days. And then Tuesdays was shoulders and abs, I think. And then I had like a rest day, and then it was like chest and then back and biceps. And then sometimes I would touch a little bit of my glutes on one of those days because my coach at the time obviously knew that I wanted to build glutes. So I would add in a couple more reps of glutes at the end of the week. Now I train legs 3 days a week, but I would have never been able to do that then, for one, because my body wasn't ready for it. And number two, because I would have had a big lower body, but I would have had no upper body muscle at all. So building that foundation when I first started was super important, so that now I can transition into training upper body like once a week and training legs 3 times a week. And we'll kind of go into how that's actually possible and how it's split up and recovery and stuff like that. But that's where I started. So if you're a newbie and you want to start jumping into training like a wellness competitor, because you might see them on Instagram and you're like, basically all of them train legs 3 days a week.
Yeah. Like every day is like day.
Literally. And like I've even bought a couple of Sunny Andrews programs, and she coached me for a couple of months and stuff like that for training. And hers is the same. Cool. Her programs are the same. And I did it really honestly because I was like, I just want to see like what other people do.
I'm always nosy.
Yeah, I'm so nosy. You get caught up in your own thing and then you want to see it. So really take the advice, because if you want to compete and you want to be competitive in the wellness division, don't forget your upper body, because you still need to have an upper body. Just because it's a lower body dominant sport, if you look at the girls in the wellness division, their upper body, they're pretty jacked. They're not as figure big.
They still have capped shoulders and like development.
To me, it's really like they train, it looks like they only train shoulders and triceps and then touch their back a little bit. Like when they're on stage, that's what it looks like. Because if your biceps get too big, then they actually will stick out further than your shoulder cap.
You can't have, I think I learned that from dang, I can't remember her name, but she lives here in Texas, old like figure Miss Olympia.
Yeah.
She talked about in an interview that she doesn't train biceps because you can't get capped shoulders if your biceps are bigger than, which totally makes sense. But
It's
something clicked in my
bodybuilding,
head and I was like, I'm never training biceps again.
Right?
And I don't.
I just train them now. I didn't, but now with my new program, which we'll go over, I train them like once a week.
Yeah.
And it's just to like,
I'll do like one set once in a while.
I train them, and literally when I'm training them, I'm like, this is just to make sure they stay.
Yeah, exactly.
This is maintenance. We're checking the oil on the car.
So you had said that your coach had you training. Did you have a coach like off the bat? Did you start on your own and then get one?
So when I went through that fat loss phase, and I basically went from being a very competitive wrestler in high school, training 3 times a day, like training crazy, and I was so burnt out that I literally just quit working out altogether.
Yeah.
And then obviously I gained some body fat, and I was just so unhealthy. Like movements were so difficult.
Yeah.
I was eating burgers every day, giant ass frappuccinos every day. And then like that would be it. And then I would starve while I was at the salon. But just because I wasn't eating that much calories, what I was eating wasn't good.
Yeah.
So I did that fat loss phase by myself, just through research, finding people on YouTube, trial and error. And then I wanted muscle, and I was like, okay, this is a new route that I don't really know. So then I got the coach.
Okay.
And it really helped.
Yeah. That's cool though. I wish I had gotten a coach when I had first started, because to go into like my original split, I started in the gym so young that I had no idea what I was doing. I was watching like Heidi Summers and like Nikki Blackadder, and like all they ever posted was their like glute workouts. So I was hitting legs probably every day.
Damn, jelly.
I was doing like a ton of Stairmaster, but I was eating like shit. So like I didn't really get any benefits from any of that training. So I like to ignore the first few years of like my quote unquote beginning fitness stage, because I was just so young and naive. I would say I started taking fitness seriously when I was like 15. And that's when I like developed a split. And what I was being taught from most of the people around me were sports related, and most of them were men, and they all did a push pull leg split. So that's what I did.
I haven't done that in a hot minute. What is it again?
It's push is basically any pushing muscles. So like chest and tricep primarily, a little bit of shoulder.
What about shoulder? Okay, shoulders you're pushing.
Shoulders is kind of in that. And then pull would be back and bicep, a little bit of rear delt. And then legs, same to you. I was doing like quad, hamstring, and glute every leg day, which was maybe 1 to 2 a week. But I was definitely really focused on gaining strength back then. I didn't think I ever wanted to do bodybuilding. I really wanted to do powerlifting actually. So my main focus on those days were the squat, deadlift, and bench. And I was just like really trying to go up in weight. I didn't really care about my reps or anything like that, which is drastically different now because I haven't squatted or deadlifted in months. So very different plan, but also very different goals at the time. And that same to you, like developed my initial muscle mass. And like I did so many sports growing up, and I did have some overlap between some of those sports and when I started bodybuilding. So I had a pretty good foundation. I was a gymnast for like probably 4 years. I really don't remember, but enough to develop like pretty good shoulders, pretty good abdominals, and then pretty good legs. So I don't really even remember what my focus was at the time. I just remember like wanting to be strong.
Yeah. I don't remember wanting to look a certain way at that point. I saw girls that had muscle, and I thought that was cool. But now when I train, it's training to a specific look.
Like very specific.
It's very different.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm doing this because I want to look like this, or I want to be like, look like this on stage. But you're right. When I first started training, I was just like, I just did a bigger chest press.
Exactly. Like I remember people asking me when I was like 15, like, well, what are your physique goals? And that's because like I worked out at the Alpha Elite gym back in the day. So like I was surrounded by bodybuilders, and they were like, well, what do you want to look like? And I was like, never thought about that. I was like, I just want to get as muscular and as strong as I can. Yeah. And now I'm like, oh no, I don't. Like now I kind of want to fine tune like where I am muscular.
It's kind of like, it's just maturing in the gym, what it kind of sounds like, you know? This is a side note, but the thing that keeps like going in my head right now is that TikTok sound that's like, muscles are so cool. I love having muscles.
Which is true.
Yeah, because we're talking about, I love having muscles.
I feel like I loved that time of fitness because you really are just like getting overall stronger versus like
Everything's
now.
so exciting.
Yeah, like now we have to intentionally avoid certain muscle groups because maybe they're overdeveloped.
That's true. And we kind of touched on this a little bit in the wellness podcast that we did last week, the week
2
before.
weeks ago.
Time is irrelevant. But how
I swear you need to be like a cartoon like voice actor. I feel like that's your future.
I think I'm the spawn of Jim Carrey.
Honestly, I see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying.
Cool. What was I saying?
I don't know.
Oh, I got it. I don't got it. Wellness division.
Yes.
We were talking about how there's a couple different things that goes into picking the division that you want. And that is not only how you want your physique to look, but it's also what you enjoy training. So if you are starting to train for the wellness division and you actually never fall in love with training legs in the process, you're probably going to be very unhappy for the majority of your competing career because you're training body parts that you don't even like to train. I loved training upper body when I first started training, and I do regret that I neglected my lower body so much because I'm very gifted down that area.
Yeah,
and if
clearly.
if I would have trained then, like where would I be now? But you can't backpedal. So keep that in mind because you can miss some of those things. Like I do miss training chest, but that's only because my implants move left and right when I start pushing things, and I don't like the way that feels.
I will say chest day is one of my favorites still, and I'm grateful that I'm not in like a current like competition season because I can just train what I want. And so on days where I'm feeling like not super motivated in the gym, I'm like, let's train like a heavy chest day. Like let's try to PR on an incline bench, and it just like motivates me.
I'm over here
sorry.
Well,
What's that like?
What's that like? I was insanely strong in my chest. Like it was crazy. And I can still like move I'm doing it right now.
I saw one
I can
shift.
Move,
I'm
I
trying
can
not
move
to
my
make eye contact with them.
with my chest muscles. I need to stop. Anyway, so what are we talking about? Training splits.
Yeah. So I think we can go into like our current split. Like what are you currently doing?
So summary was if you're starting, please don't forget about these essential upper body days and chest days and back days because you need to have that foundation in order to compete in the wellness category. And once you get to a certain point where those muscles are developed enough, then you can really start like touching them and really fine tuning. So right now, that's what I'm doing with my training split. So right now, my coach has me on a different training split. So we kind of switched it up to where we were training legs on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And now we're training legs on Tuesdays. I'm looking literally at my program right now.
Like, just read it out.
Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So I at first was like, oh man, I love training, legs on Mondays because like it almost seems like everybody in the gym trains legs on Mondays.
Yeah.
But it was kind of nice because when I was training legs yesterday, which was Tuesday, I was like, nobody in the gym is training legs.
Yeah.
I get all the machines to myself.
I wonder why Mondays are like a designated everyone trains leg day.
Yeah,
I think
weird.
men want to get it out of the way and women want to like start their week with it.
100.
That's my guess.
100%. That's why I was sad that we were moving it to Tuesdays because like starting Mondays with a hard leg day is amazing. But I do like that we changed it to Tuesdays because with the setup, it actually makes sense. So once you get to a point where you are a little bit more advanced, you should say, then structuring it a specific way to where you can train legs 3 days a week is crucial. And this structure really, really works because Monday I'm training upper body. And this is where I'm literally touching my triceps, touching my back, touching my shoulders. There's more of a focus on this day on my shoulders than anything else. Because like I said, we want to have that really big emphasis on the cap shoulders and we want them to look bigger than the biceps. And it's almost like this isn't actually what the category is described as, but this is what I see is that like the amount of capness is the same amount of like quad that comes out. You know what I mean? Because your shoulders are obviously like bigger than your quads.
It's like the quad of the upper body.
It's the quad of the upper body. It's the cap shoulder is like the side sweep.
Yeah. And that's every division.
Yeah.
Bikini and figure also have an emphasis on cap shoulders.
Exactly. And that's why on my Monday split for the upper body, there's more of a focus on the shoulders. And then we're literally just touching all the other areas because they're already there. They're already developed.
Yeah.
We just need to make sure that they're still activated. And I can still challenge them if I want to challenge them, which I probably will. But my main mindset around it is I'm not trying to like PR on a squat or PR on like a deadlift or what do people do with back these days?
Rows?
I don't know.
Rows?
I really, this is how much I don't PR on these things anymore. I PR on squats, hip thrusts, RDLs, stuff like that. And then we're going into Tuesday, which is my quad focused leg day. So I have 3 leg days and one is quad focused, one's ham and glute focused, and one is a glute pump day. Okay. And this is important because this is the way that I'm able to do 3 glute days in a week because one's a glute pump day where it's like accessory movements and higher reps, time under tension, and the other days are like let's go ham. So we got the Monday upper body, we got Tuesday, which is the quad focused leg day. I did a giant set, oh my God, yesterday for my quad focused leg day. This is my first week doing my training split where it's 10 walking lunges, so it's like 10 on each leg, and then we go into 10 squats, and then we go into 10 hammy and glute focused leg press to where it's a very small range of motion.
Yeah.
And you can literally just feel it right where your tie-in is.
That's my favorite feeling.
And I was like, this is going to be so easy. I was like, this is no big deal.
No.
And I was like, dying. I was like,
we need to train again. I miss hitting legs with you.
Yeah.
I need that like push.
We need to do this.
I'll
leg
join
day.
you. Yeah, I'll join you. I'll die on it, but I'll join you.
I was dying too. It was not fun. I could tell my cardio is not where it needs to be because I'm just like wheezing through everything. But
that's me like walking up my stairs these days.
It'll get better. But yeah, so I do that, and then we have a rest day on Wednesday. Now, having a rest day in the middle of the week seems like pulling teeth if you love training. Do you have a rest day in the middle of the week? Okay.
I usually take Wednesday off too.
Yeah. Which is today.
Yeah.
Which is podcast
so actually,
day.
I'm probably training today just because I'm feeling it, but but I'm not in prep, so I don't have to be as structured as you.
I know you don't. That was a TikTok reference again.
Yeah, no. I spend too much time on TikTok. I know all the references.
Yeah. I know them because of listening to other podcasts.
Do they just reference?
They reference them, and that's how
so
I
you have
learn.
references of references?
Yeah, references of
Got it.
I get the reverb reference. But yeah, having that rest day in the middle of the week, even though I know you're listening to this, I love training's the best, and I want to train every day. Do not. Especially if you're training for the wellness division, you really need those rest days.
Imagine, because you hit legs again on Thursday, imagine not having a rest day. Like
today's my rest day, and I'm like, so glad it is. Now, I used to on my rest days wake up and do cardio in the morning too, because I have 5 cardio sessions a week now for about 20 minutes. And I would do cardio still on my rest days, but I decided this time that I'm going to make sure that my rest days are complete rest days. No cardio, no sprinting, nothing, because my legs get swollen from basically just looking at them wrong. So obviously my legs get swollen on the Stairmaster. So I'm using this day to literally just like sit and chill, do the gua sha and recover whatever I can to make sure that it goes away. And then Thursday was when we have that glutes pump day. So we have a really hard training session at the beginning of the week. We have a really hard rest day, and then we have a glutes pump workout on Thursday to where it's not insanely hard, but it's a lot of accessory movements, a lot of those like areas in the glutes that you need to touch, like your upper glute, doing like kickbacks. All of these are accessory movements. Things that are more compound are like RDLs, squats, hip thrusts. Those involve a lot more of your whole body that you're working, and you're going to get tired a lot faster. So I have a lot of accessory movements on my glute pump day, literally jump squats, banded hip thrusts. We have a sumo squat, which I can hold the dumbbell, have it at my heels elevated, kickbacks, abductions, nothing that's too taxing, very, very high reps on that day.
Yeah.
Friday, I can either choose to do an athletic training session, which I'm not gonna like doing.
Is it like HIIT?
Yeah, he has me doing like a whole HIIT-esque thing.
No, like this is not a dig. Cannot picture you doing it,
bro. I have
you have so much muscle mass. I cannot imagine.
It's literally like when I'm running in the morning, it's like a troll. I'm like. Anybody that knows me knows that me running is the funniest thing to ever be seen.
I always think you're joking, but it's your actual run.
No, it's real. And it's crazy too because I was so fast when I was young. So fast, and now
you have 200-pound quads.
Yeah, so it's like ow, ow, ow. So yeah, I have sprints every morning after my 20 minutes of cardio, like a couple rounds of sprints. Okay. So my knees are just getting used to it. Yeah.
I love sprints, if I'm being honest, but it is hard to get back into.
It was kind of fun, but my knees were like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
That's how my ankles get.
Yeah, my ankles just get swollen. And I have cankles.
I've always had cankles, but recently, like, I've had more like water retention in my legs, and I'm like, oh my God. And so, yeah.
Our poor ankles.
Our poor ankles.
And knees. Take care of your joints, people.
I'm not even kidding. I took a bath at like 2 a.m. last night because I felt so swollen that I couldn't fall asleep. And then I read that like baths help. So I was like, I'm taking a bath.
And you feel like your body's throbbing.
Yeah.
It's like has a heartbeat.
Yes. I felt like awful last night. Wow. I'm glad you can relate.
You need an ice bath.
I was trying to tell my boyfriend and he was like, okay. He was like, you sound like a psychopath. And I'm like, no, trust me. Like, I'm swollen.
I tell that to Zach all the time. I'm like, my feet have heartbeats.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
I got that last night. Anyway, I'll let you continue with your.
Nobody understands me.
I understand you.
But yeah, so the athletic training on Friday. So I can either do that or I can touch a little bit of upper body. So most likely I'll do shoulders if I want to on that day. But this prep, I do really want to do this athletic training because he had this on my program last prep that I could choose either or. And obviously I chose out of it.
Yeah.
But I really want to choose into it this time because what I'm noticing is that even though being a bodybuilder is cool and like you look awesome and blah, 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 your functionality isn't really good. Like, I'm glad that I'm doing the sprints this time because even though I could do a Stairmaster for an hour and a half, no sweat, but sprints and I would die.
I could not.
I could squat 350 pounds, but doing a HIIT session, I would die. Like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. So this time I'm really putting an emphasis on having both of the
I feel like it'll also help you get leaner faster. The one prep I ever did with a coach that had it was like a designated like lower body, more like plyometric HIIT workout and then an upper body version. And I got lean so much faster. Yeah. So I like having
I'm going to force myself to do it. I might do it like in the privacy of my own home.
Not a bad idea.
Because jumping and my boobs and it hurts.
That's true. I didn't think of that either.
I'm literally going to need to tape them down.
Get one of those like extra heavy duty sports bras for those days.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Tape.
Well, if you ever want me to join, I love HIIT workouts, so I'll join you.
Yeah, I know. And we also have a little boxing thing in our
cool.
garage, so I could use that too if I want to. Yeah. And then we have Saturday, which is another leg day. That one's quads and glutes. So a little bit of quads, but more so focusing on glutes on that day because going back to really sculpting the program to fit my body, my quads are still overdeveloped compared to my glutes and my hamstrings. So that's why we hit glutes and hamstrings more than we hit our quads because they're already there and we just need to make sure that they stay there and possibly get a tiny bit bigger, but we need the backside to catch up. And then Sunday we rest completely. So I'm not going to do cardio on that day unless we get to the point in prep where I'm doing cardio like every day because that might happen.
So currently for your cardio, you're doing Stairmaster and sprints every cardio day? Yes. Or is it? Okay.
Yeah. So 5 days a week, which would be Monday. I'll do the cardio with the training days.
Got it.
So I won't do the cardio with Wednesday or Sunday.
Got it.
Yes.
Going into my training split, it's so weird how similar it is to yours with like you having a coach and in prep and then mine's just like what my brain did.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's like a testament that like most wellness girls just train the same because we have similar goals. And I think the only difference is it's fine tuned to what are your weak points. And then so just to break mine down, I don't have designated days right now because I'm still dealing with health stuff. So like whenever I can get to the gym, I'm getting to the gym. But in a perfect world, I'll break it down on Monday through Sunday. Monday, I do like to train legs. So I am one of those like leg day on Monday people.
Good. Do that so I get the machines.
Monday, Thursday, Saturday is my leg days.
That was
so it's how yours used to be, which it's not a bad idea moving it to Tuesday, if I'm being honest, because then you have like the same amount of rest each time.
Exactly. And that's what I was frustrated at first. And then when I looked at it as like the whole week with the Sunday, I was like, oh, it's literally completely even.
Because Saturday to Monday, you really don't get that much rest. No. So I might move mine after listening to this. My Monday leg day is quad focused. My Wednesday one, similar to you, is like a glute pump. Where it's definitely lighter weight, more accessory work. I usually don't do a heavy compound. If I do a compound at all, it's hip thrust, and I'll try to do like more volume training. Recently,
don't sleep on those, man.
Have you heard about the like German volume? Is that what it's called? Like German volume training. I feel like this was like circulating when you took your break from social media. Girls are now doing 10, I believe they're doing 10 sets of 10 on hip thrust as like a German volume. I'm so sorry if it's not German. I just think it is. So
we're going to Google it. Keep talking.
We can. And I was looking into it, and basically like what it is whatever the muscle focus is of that day, you do 10 sets of 10 of the main exercise and then just a little bit of accessories after. I have not been doing that, but I am working my way towards it. So like recently my first set, I'll do like a 5 to 6 set of 10 on hip thrust.
Interesting.
And I'll keep it pretty light. Like I'm not going to like try to PR or go crazy heavy. I'll probably just throw like 1 plate each side, like a weight I can really control for all 10 reps. And then I try not to take a ton of rest, and then I'll go into the next set. But anyway, that's for Wednesday. And then Saturday, I like to do full legs, but full legs for me being more hamstring dominant and kind of glute dominant, I do more quad and glute instead of ham and glute. So like my hamstrings are probably the most neglected in my plan right now. I'll probably do like a hamstring curl, but I'm not really doing RDLs because I feel like they're just still overdeveloped. I still want bigger quads and I want bigger glutes. And so I can chill on the hamstrings for the time being.
I really find it hard to put an emphasis on all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Like what's crazy is that when I really wanted to grow a certain body part, if I try to do them all at the same time, it's just like with anything in life. If you try to put your attention on 3 things at once, you're going to get that much percentage into each. I'm not going to math that. And then if you put your focus into one thing, but you still train the others, but you're like, I'm going to grow my glutes. Yeah. They will literally grow faster.
That's my focus right now because I feel like I neglected it for so long because I was like, I'm glute dominant. I don't need to train them. And now I'm like, it would be nice to have a dumpy again.
It would be nice to have a dumpy. Also, I have an update on the German volume training. So here's the definition per Wikipedia.
Okay.
German volume training is commonly referred to as the 10 by 10 workout. It's a form of weight training. It employs high set counts and moderate repetitions. I love when the people say repetitions. Where GVT, which is short for German volume training, workouts typically involve 10 sets of 10 focused on a specific muscle group.
Yeah.
This is, I'm a deep dive.
The girlies on TikTok are all doing it for their glutes. And I was like, let me just try it. So it was the end of my workout when I was like trying to give it a go. So I didn't do 10 sets of 10 because it was the end of my workout, but I did like 6 sets of 10 and like my ass was dead the next day. So
what
I was
is
like,
the purpose of doing it? I'm confused. I mean, obviously.
Not sure. I could imagine a few different ways or I guess like things about it. I would assume it's like, then you're really hypertrophy training that one exercise instead of trying to like improve on a lot, kind of what you said, where like you're divvying up into like, okay, these are like 5 different glute exercises. I'm going to max out on all of them. You can really pour your attention into one and then do maybe like 1 or 2 accessories after. I also think like, just for me personally, like time in the gym, like sometimes I don't have a lot of time to spend there. If I just show up and do 10 sets of 10 of hip thrust, that's still a good ass workout. Like you really don't have to do a ton else. So that's my guess. I'm sure there's like actual scientific benefits.
Because that's basically 2 or 3 workouts into one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like time wise. Yeah. And in a short amount of time. Because if we do 3 reps with hip thrust, 3 reps, like kickbacks, 3 reps with, not reps, sets.
I get
with
it.
something else, like just do
also
10
like
to knock it out.
Going to lift ATX, it is like so packed sometimes that if I get on that hip thrust machine, or
I'm staying here,
I'm not leaving. So that was actually like I think what motivated me because I was like, damn, like nothing else is open. I should just stay here. Like let's try the German volume training.
Okay, let's all train. I'm gonna try it.
Okay,
I'm just gonna add it like on one of the days and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm down. And then, so then for upper body, it's been kind up in the air right now. Obviously, my focus is shoulders. That's all I ever care about. So right now-ish, like Tuesday and Friday, is upper body focused on shoulders. So I do try to make one of them a little more like push centric, where I am doing a little more like tricep, front delt, like a little bit of chest. And then the second one will be a little more like rear delt. I really don't hit biceps. I might do like one set. And then what was I saying? Oh, and a little bit of back. So I do kind of keep that like push and pull mantra, but is very shoulder heavy. Like I really am not doing a lot of back sets or a lot of chest sets. It's like mostly shoulder press, mostly lateral raises, mostly front raises versus like rear delt flies. Like it's really just a shoulder day.
Shoulders are the main character. Yeah. And the other things are like the side characters or maybe the extras in the back.
Yeah.
That you don't really see, but they're there and they contribute sometimes.
And I will say like some weeks now, I'll only do upper body one time a week. And it's because I'm actively trying to lose my upper body size. I feel like
Pero why?
I just became a little unhappy when I was like looking in the mirror. I just felt like I'm naturally very broad. And then I had spent so many years putting on muscle mass on top of that I started to like not love my physique. And I was like, okay, like again, I'm not training for a show right now. Let's train to make me happy with my body. So let's put a little more emphasis on lower body again. And I'm taking away from my upper. And I don't want to lose all my muscle, obviously. And I don't think I ever could with just like how much I have. But I'm just trying to not grow anymore in my upper body right now. I just want to maintain them.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
Yeah.
I feels that. I
definitely go through phases with that. But
I don't
right
really
now,
want a bigger back or I don't want bigger biceps or triceps.
My
They're still
lats
there.
are huge. Like my biceps are huge and I don't train those two things. It's just from the years of training I did do.
Remember your bicep vein?
Yeah. Well, it's usually my shoulder vein.
That's right.
He'll run down when I'm lean.
What's his name?
Oh, I used to have it. I think
Billy
I called
Bob
him
Joe.
I think I called him like Jeffrey, just because like I think that was like the it's so random. It was the jellyfish in like SpongeBob. I think whatever that guy's name is what I named.
Oh
my
God, vein. He was so mean. He bullied SpongeBob, the cool guy, the jellyfish catcher guy.
His name? I don't remember.
I don't even know.
Anyway. It might not be. But yeah, that's basically my split. Kind of similar to yours. I think just like less structured. Like I'm more so going in being like, what am I in the mood to hit today? Yes. But that is the overall theme, is like a 3-leg day, a 2 or 1 upper body day.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, you kind of can see the difference between us two and like what is our main focus right now and the structure difference between like being in quote unquote off season or more lifestyle versus going into season. Because like when I'm going into the gym, I'm doing these I literally have my training program. It is here on my phone. The only time I really pick up my phone when I'm training is to mark them and like put what the weight is. I do it for 4 weeks and then my coach switches it a little bit. And that's what we're going to be doing because I just want to be super routined with that training split so that I can get the most out of it. But I am going to add that. I'm going to add that 10 thing on probably my glute pump day.
Yeah. Because like, again, like I do see girls like going really heavy and making it like their main workout. But on that day, like it's perfect to do like a lightweight and just like squeeze the shit out of your glutes.
Yeah,
so
I think that's what I'm going to do.
I like it.
Don't underestimate like the time under tension days, because I did that on yesterdays because I wasn't feeling as strong. I haven't been training for a long time. So I really just did time under tension for my hip thrusts, and it really freaking hurt.
Yeah.
I still really felt it. Just because you're not going strong, PRing every time doesn't mean stuff isn't happening. Yeah. Your muscles are still tearing.
Yeah.
And I
actually feel it more usually.
Yeah, they tear a lot when you really slow it down, you add a band, and you focus on form. So if you have any questions, guys, about like structuring a split, we're thinking about going into like a Gym Girl Basics type of series here for like a couple episodes where we just go back to the basics and we start from the beginning.
I feel like it's good for us to touch on too, because it's like things that become so second nature that we don't focus on it anymore.
Exactly. And I'm like, everybody knows this. I'm like, wait, no. Yeah. I didn't know any of this when I started. So let us know what you think about these new episodes. Yeah. And as always, guys, we love you all so much, and you are more powerful than you think.
Bye.